Picture this. Right now, somewhere in the vast digital universe, there's another version of you being born. It knows your shopping habits better than your closest friend. It predicts your next move before you've even thought about it. And the most unsettling part, it might understand you better than you understand yourself. Welcome to the age of your digital doppelganger, where artificial intelligence is crafting mirror versions of every single one of us, pixel by pixel, data point by data point. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most fascinating and frankly terrifying developments of our time. But first, subscribe to our channel. Every click you make, every pause in your scroll, every purchase, every search query, even how long you linger on a particular image, is feeding this invisible twin. Major tech companies aren't just collecting your data anymore. They're using advanced machine learning algorithms to create comprehensive behavioral models that essentially become digital versions of who you are. But here's where it gets really interesting. These aren't just static profiles sitting in some database. Your digital doppelganger is dynamic, constantly learning, constantly evolving. It's running millions of simulations about what you might do next, what you might want, what might make you happy or frustrated or excited. Think about the last time you opened a streaming platform and felt like it could read your mind with its recommendations. Or when an online store seemed to know exactly what you needed before you did. That wasn't magic or coincidence. That was your digital twin at work, making predictions based on patterns you didn't even realize you had. The technology behind this is absolutely mind-blowing. AI systems are now sophisticated enough to analyze not just what you do, but how you do it. They're tracking micro-expressions in your typing patterns, the rhythm of your mouse movements, even subtle changes in your vocal inflection during voice searches. Every tiny behavioral signature is being cataloged and analyzed. Machine learning models can now predict with startling accuracy whether you're likely to make a purchase, abandon a task, or even experience an emotional shift based on incredibly subtle digital breadcrumbs you leave behind. Some systems claim they can predict your behavior with over 90% accuracy in certain contexts. But here's where the mirror starts reflecting something that might surprise you. These digital doppelgangers are revealing patterns about human behavior that we never understood before. They're showing us that we're far more predictable than we thought, but also far more complex in ways we never imagined. Your AI twin might know that you're more likely to make impulsive purchases on Tuesday afternoons, or that you engage more deeply with content when it's presented in a specific visual format. It might understand that certain color combinations trigger specific emotional responses in you, or that your attention span varies predictably based on the time of day and your recent digital activity. What's particularly fascinating is how these systems are starting to identify behavioral clusters. They're discovering that people who share seemingly unrelated traits often exhibit similar digital patterns. Someone who prefers jazz music and drinks specialty coffee might have the same online browsing rhythm as someone who's into abstract art and practices yoga. The implications are staggering. Marketing becomes less about broad demographics and more about understanding the unique digital fingerprint of each individual. Healthcare systems could potentially identify health risks based on changes in digital behavior patterns. Educational platforms could adapt in real time to how your brain processes information most effectively. But let's address the elephant in the room. This level of digital mirroring raises profound questions about privacy, autonomy, and what it means to be human in an age of artificial intelligence. When a system knows you better than you know yourself, who's really in control? Some researchers are finding that people's digital doppelgangers can predict their future behaviors more accurately than they can predict them themselves. That's not just impressive technology. That's a fundamental shift in the nature of self-knowledge and personal agency. There's also the unsettling possibility of these digital twins being used to manipulate rather than serve. When AI knows exactly which emotional buttons to push, the line between personalization and manipulation becomes dangerously thin. Your doppelganger could be used to influence your political views, your purchasing decisions, even your relationships. Yet there's also incredible potential for positive impact. Imagine if your digital twin could help identify early signs of mental health struggles, or guide you toward habits and choices that align with your deepest values and long-term well-being. What if it could help you understand patterns in your own behavior that lead to greater happiness or success? The most profound realization might be this: These AI mirrors are showing us that identity itself is more fluid and complex than we ever realized. We're not fixed beings with unchanging preferences and predictable responses. We're dynamic contextual creatures whose behaviors emerge from countless invisible influences and patterns. Your digital doppelganger isn't just a copy of who you are. It's a revelation of who you might become. A map of possibilities you haven't yet explored. And perhaps most importantly, a reminder that in our interconnected digital age, understanding ourselves might require looking through the lens of artificial intelligence. The question isn't whether these digital twins will continue to evolve and become more sophisticated. They absolutely will. The question is whether we'll learn to work with them as tools for self-discovery and growth, or whether we'll let them become invisible puppeteers pulling strings we don't even know exist. What do you think? Are you ready to meet your digital doppelganger? If you got value from this video, like and subscribe to our channel.